So in this video, we're going to imagine that we've been given a document with text that's been entered, and it looks like a table in that it isn't actually a Microsoft Word table, but with the tab spaces, it has columns and so could be thought as, oh yeah, that's a table. So let's have a look. So let's put in some row headers. So first name and then tab, last name, and then tab, and then perhaps age, tab, joined, tab, and then state. Now, when I hit enter, I can then start putting in some information. And I'm just going to press tab between each bit of information. Here we go. And then age is 25. Now, you might want to spread this out. And so one of the things, just a bit of a vision we can do is we can put in tab stops. And what it basically means, I can just come up here to the ruler and I can just click on the mouse and suddenly it will put in a tab stop. So I'm just going to go back a little bit and I'm going to click on this row here and I'm going to put in a tab stop and I'm going to put it perhaps here, and then I'm going to apply it also here. And every time I press up here, what it does is it just says, well, that's going to be the next place that when I press tab, the cursor is going to appear. Now you can see on this row here as well, I also need to duplicate that. So instead, I'm just going to delete this, come back up to this row here, and then press enter. And now whenever I press tab, it will automatically be in line with the row above. Here we go. So now I'm just going to enter in the information, some data in here. Now, of course, if I ever want to move these, I can just move these tab stops here and just drag them. If I want to move the entire collective ones, I just select everything and just move it, and it will ensure that everything stays in line. So let's just put in a few more rows here. So WA, let's put in a few more fields. And perhaps one more. There we go. Here we go. Okay, excellent. So there we go. Now, perhaps I actually have changed my mind and want to add a new column, a little bit more difficult with this tab spacing method, which is why you would normally use the Microsoft Word tables. If you do ever want to change your mind or anything and drag these tab stops, just remember the easiest way is just to select them. You can't really delete them, but you can put them on top of each other, and then that just removes them. So if you wanted to remove any of them, you'd just drag them on top of each other. Now we're going to convert this to a table. So all I need to do is I select all of this data and I press Insert, Table, and you'll now see that this Convert Text to Table option is now available. And if I click on that, very simply a pop-up will come up. You need to be aware that the number of columns here is in line with the number of columns here. Sometimes there might be an additional one if you had an additional tab stop up here. So just make sure the number of columns is the same as the data. You can choose what each column is going to be. So we're going to stick with the auto fit. Now the interesting one here is because this text has actually been separated by tabs, we're going to keep the tab selected. But what that could have happened is someone might have just had commas as the spaces. So it might be a very good way to convert text to a table if it's just got commas separating each word as opposed to tab stops like we have here. And then click OK. And there we go. We've got our finished table converted from text. Now we're going to look at later videos as to how we can apply formatting and make this more visually pleasing. But as usual, give it a go.